Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Rays won't stop. We got some catcher walk-offs, ejections. Harper gonna play first. Woo! Let's talk some baseball. Oh my. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, the geeks of seats. Code Talkin' will get you $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. It's the easiest app to use. Green bubble means good. Buy it. Red bubble means maybe think about it. You're not getting the best deal right now. And, go see a game. Maybe go see a game in New York. Go see who they're playing. Oh, Minnesota. They've had a lot of good success against them.
Yeah, they have, huh?
And sometimes things change, but not at SeatGeek. Code Talkin', $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Trevor, I'll give it to you. How are you?
Jake, the only constant in this world is change. These ain't your daddy's twins. How many times have you heard that? Joe's texted me yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be in this show because it's a different series. But as we know, the Twins beat up on the Yankees last night. And Joe's text me said, "Make it stop, Trev. Make it stop."
Yeah.
And I said that to him. I said, "This ain't your daddy's twins." He goes, "Man, I heard that so many times, but it's a little different this year." Carlos Correa said, "I'll take a few games off and I'll come back for that New York series and throw up that 9 spot in the first." Anyways,
it's a shame we can't talk about it more.
It's a shame we can't talk about everything that went on
series.
in that game.
Might come up on Monday.
Anyways, I am doing great. It is Friday. The weekend is upon us.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. There was a lot of fun stuff that has gone on during the week. I'm just all about baseball right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the pitch clock. I don't know what it is, but it's become a little bit more fun for me to watch. It has. I know we kind of talk about that every episode, but I'm just kind of shocked that, April 14th, I'm still kind of like, usually it's opening week and then it's like, okay, we got the season. Let's get through it. But now I'm like looking forward to watching all these games. I really am, man. Do you feel the same way?
I think I had the first realization, and I was talking with Dalton, who's doing stats with us, that every starting pitcher coming through for the third time, like Corbin Burnes went out and shoved, and it was like, okay, this Corbin Burnes is back. I'm sorry. Yes, if the question is, am I enjoying the baseball season? Yes, except for 30 minutes last night where your Twins,
we can't talk about it.
We just can't talk about it.
It just wouldn't stop.
Trev, before we get into it, we're going to burn the games, focus on some of the big topics. I did want to ask you, because pitch clock, you talk about being on the other side of that, whether you're either one of the teams or in the broadcast booth. That game last year had a chance to wander on for 3 hours, 45 minutes, and it's still, at least you have that now. But I guess you've probably been on both sides of the table. If you go down and one of those first innings happens and you're down 6, 7, 8-0, can it be tough both ways? Your brain has to, you don't view the game the same way, right?
It depends on what side you're on. If you're on the side that scores 9 runs and you're one of the guys that already got a knock in the first inning, the rest of the game is gravy, baby. Yeah. Now you go for the homer. You didn't hit one in the first inning. You got your knock though. Now let's get some extra base hits. That's how you feel. Yeah. Pitchers, they kind of relax a little bit more, let their defense kind of work. On the other side, if you're down 9 runs, it sucks.
Yeah.
I had been part of a lot of games where you start down and you have to work your way up. It just makes everything so much more stressful. You're in the dugout saying, "Man, just chip away, guys. A lot of game left. Let's get 1 here." Well, it's like, fuck, we got to get 1 here and then 4 somewhere and then 3 more. And then we also got to stop them from scoring. Yeah. So it's just, those games kind of suck, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. If you have no idea and you're listening to the show, Yankees 11 in the first is their biggest blowout in the first inning.
It was 9, right?
9 in the first. It was It was their most runs given up in the first inning since 2000, like 23 years. That was crazy. So, yeah, and I was going through the players' emotions on both sides, and I'm like, this is bizarre. Like, almost like the Twins. I guess you spun it in a good way for me because I was like, are the Twins miserable for the rest of this game? Like, if you're a pitcher using your bullets in this game? But no, like you're saying, go out and let it eat. And if you get some more pie, it's a good thing.
Yeah, the only bad thing is sometimes when you're up that much, the base coaches are real protective of the runners, and you'll hit like a double, and the guy will like barely hit the third base, or a single for the guy in second. You're like, bro, I need the ribby.
He scores standing, bro.
We can't be disrespectful to the pitchers. You think a pitcher's not trying to strike you out in a tie game? But we gotta be cognizant of his feelings when we're up too much. Gosh, man.
Trev,
sorry.
I love all of that. And I always love that I woke up with a wry grin this morning knowing that you had pretty good ammo on me all episode because the Twins just fucking embarrassed the Yankees like they hadn't in 23 years. So, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah. Boogie that shit, man.
Woo! And Trev, it's a good thing we can't talk about that Twins-Yankees game because the Twins took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. And that's what we need to be talking about. White Sox tried to give away the game they won. Twins scored all their runs after errors in the inning, but they hold on to it. Hanser Alberto, Trev, your boy doing it. But that's all the White Sox we got pretty much because a fun game too, a back-and-forth first inning. Luis Robert ties it in the 9th, but your Twins come back and win, and then they do it again on the final game. No Correa, and Kyle Farmer, scary, hit by a pitch in the face. He has to go like straight out of there. Absolute chaos. Twins win the series, and Trev, they haven't lost the series. I think we talked about that a little bit. This series, I don't know, man. My Yanks were in it, and Guardians fans, Chris Rose's Guardians, sound off in the comments. I don't know, it's kind of the Yankees came out, big number, first inning of the first game. Looks like they're going to put up a 6. They don't. Guardians come back, and then they shut it out the rest of the way. It's 3-2. Guardians win. Weird game. Yankees blowout game 2. Cole and the boys, they put up 11, big number. And then a little comeback win by the Yanks, that final game that allowed them to enter the We Haven't Lost a Series club. Franchi Cordero season? Have they tapped into something? Weird one. Go check out Talkin' Yanks. And go check out your Baltimore Orioles because they can score in a hurry. You might hear about Ryan Mountcastle's 9 RBI day. You might hear about Adley Rutschman's walk-off homer to win it in the final game of the series for them to take 3 out of 4 games against your Oakland Athletics. The A's, they won that 3rd game. Brent Rooker getting another look for the Oakland Athletics, putting up some big numbers. Turned Canadian for a second there. Orioles, they can score in a hurry. They changed my mind a little bit. Rays sweep the Sox. Oh my. They won't stop. They do it every different way. 1-0 in the first game. Brandon Lau. A lot of people not happy I didn't put him on my top 10 second baseman list down in Tampa. They win 1-0. And then the rest of the series, they do it the other way, Trev. 7-9-9. That's what they score, including the comeback in that 3rd game. Oh, by the way, Taj Bradley, one of their prospects, he makes his debut. He looks nasty. 4-game sweep of the Sox. It's hitting Looney Tune time in Tampa. The Texas Rangers take 2 out of 3 from your Kansas City Royals. Royals, man, really struggling to hit early on this season. They get it going in the last game, and Vinny P starting to put it together. But, yeah, they lose 11-2 to the Rangers in that first game. The Heen Dog got cranking, breaking records while the boys were bopping on the other side. And then Jonah Heim walk-off, catcher walk-offs. Former Daisy Pedal winner Jonah Heim in the 10th gets it done for them. Thick neck Josh Young with a big day at the plate in that one, too. Oh, DeGrom. Didn't even mention him. 7 innings, 9 Ks, 2 earned runs. Okay. Your Blue Jays keep rolling, Trev. 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. It's what you'd expect. Tigers making some headlines for the wrong reasons. We're going to talk about Javy Baez's running goof or gaff. You sound off in the comments. How about Kevin Kiermaier showing off that new wall and showing off that high testosterone that he's going to bring to the boys up north this year? Man, it all clicked in my head after watching that highlight. Bo Bichette with a big play, and the second one that helped dictate the game. Tigers are sad and sending messages. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And that's what happened in your American League. Trevor Plouffe, the standings as they lie. Rays 13-0, buddy. The 8-5 and 8-5 Yankees and Jays. 7-6 O's, and the 5-8 Boston Red Sox. The AL, those standings feel a little real. The Twins are 9-4. Let's go. Guard Dog 7-6. The rest are under 500. White Sox, Royals, and Tigers. Texas Rangers and Angels are both 7-5. Astros are 6-7. The 5-8 Seattle Mariners and the 3-10 Oakland Athletics. Trevor, like I mentioned, we're going to clip few of the series and some of the big topics. I think we have to go back. Rays are now 13-0, and I think your giggle gives it away, man. That's silly. That's silly.
I'm on their baseball reference page right now, and what I like to do like during the season is go to a team's page, click on schedule and results, and it kind of just goes through the splits, the teams, the divisions, game by game schedule. It's so pretty right now for the Rays. It's all 1,000.
Yeah.
67 positive run differential through 13 games. Like these games haven't even been close. And like you said, like they'll win the 1-0 game because they have the pitching to do it. But they're swinging the bats, dude. Like they're hitting the crap out of the ball. And that was the one thing we kept saying going into the season. Was like, are they going to hit enough? Like we know they're going to play D. They got a couple guys in there that can bop it a little bit, but like 1 through 9, are they going to do it? They are saying, what were you guys even talking about? Of course we're going to do it. And man, it's been so impressive to watch. 13-0, they go up into Toronto now, I believe. And I mean, you got Barrios, who hasn't been the ace that I thought he would become. You could see them doing all right, especially with Rasmussen on the bump. Then they get Kikuchi, and then they have 3 interesting ones in a row after that. It's Manoah, Hunter Green, and Nick Lodolo. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm looking here. Like, I could see how they might lose one of these games, but against Manoah, they got Shane McClanahan pitching. So, like, that's an equalizer. This team, I mean, they're going to lose eventually. But right now, they look so good that it's hard to look at the schedule and actually imagine it, right? Like, usually you can look at a series and say, okay, I think they're probably going to win 2 or 3, or, there's a tough one. They just match up so well. You talk about, putting up Manoah against them, but then they have the answer right there. So it's been very, very impressive. Bullpen, starters, offense, defense, every freaking thing is clicking. And I hope like we continue to talk about the Rays like this. And it's not just like, oh, remember when they started 13-0 and now they're just kind of floundering? I hope we all took the over. I'll say that. God. I don't know if we did or not.
God, I hope so. Might need to check on that BBD because, it's hard. It's like that ticket, cash that ticket out.
Cash the ticket already. DraftKings is offering buybacks on it. No, they're not.
Trev, and dude, think about this. Like, even the other thing the Rays have always been good at, but it's feeling a little different this year. And hey, 13-0 make anything feel different. But Alek Manoah, in previous years, lefties hit a lot better off of him. Lefties are hitting off of Manoah well this year. There's less shifting. Some people thought he could be a little bit of a regression candidate. That guess what? If you need lefties, if you need righties, like the Rays will come at you however they want, and they've got that empowered player mentality that it's scary, and it goes with their pitching that is constantly there. I mean, Jeffrey Springs goes on the IL. Think about how much we've been saying his name to start this year. I mean, they follow him out of the pen. Some guy makes his debut, and he shoves down the Red Sox throat. I think there's a few things that can be true. I think this Rays team looks like they're really good. I think we thought they'd be good. They look really good. Sure. Do I think there was an easy schedule? Yes, but to go 13-0, that's different. Like if you go 10-3, that's an incredible stretch of baseball. If you go 8-5, that's solid. Okay, I'm getting too far away from it. What they're doing is gross. And I'll say this. The hitting is what can make it different, Trev. Because we've seen Rays teams pitch. We've seen Rays teams play defense. The hitting can make it different. And I do want to see these upcoming tests. And it could be a little unfair, but that's where we're at in the season. Because if the Red Sox are anything this year, it's going to be led by their offense. I think that's what anyone would tell you. So if you're still going through these teams, the pitching they've faced is not your highest quality. It doesn't take away from what they've done, but let's see how they do against some of the big boys coming up. And by the way, I'm not saying like I'm betting on the other guys. I just want to see what it looks like.
I'm looking at some of these stats. I misspoke. 67 positive run differential is not even right. Baseball Reference hadn't updated it yet. It's actually 71.
Thank you.
So there you go.
Thank
13. You. Thank you, Sarah Langs on MLB.com. This is my favorite stat of it, okay? Because I don't think we think about the Rays as a power hitting franchise. We really haven't.
No.
I mean, when's the last time we thought about the Rays as being bombers?
Never.
Except when G-Man Choi faces Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
You could have talked about that a couple years ago, but he's not on the team. He's with my guy Bae, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
They are hitting homers. 32 home runs through 13 games. They have hit 32 home runs, and they've only allowed in 13 games 30 runs. They've hit more home runs than they've given up total runs.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's the difference for me. Because you can get out to a hot start with some of your guys and, string together some runs, couple singles, couple doubles. But when you're hitting the ball over the fence, ain't no defense for that. And that's really, talk about an analytical view of the sport. Let's pitch. Let's strike these dudes out. Let's play a little bit of defense, and let's hit homers. That's the analytical dream, and they're doing it right now. And they're 13-0. Fuck, dude.
And Trev, think about how often we talk about, whether it's Joe Madden or the Rays front office, and now they run the Dodgers too, like all those guys. The other thing that has to happen, players have to ball out. Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz, Randy, Wander Franco. Paredes. Know the guys on the Rays because they're the ones doing it, and they're nasty. You're not pointing at a shift. You're not pointing to a weird theory. You're not pointing at a clock that comes out of the bullpen. These guys are freaks, man. They throw from every different arm angle. No, dude, these guys are nasty at baseball.
Could they lose every single game going forward and still be 500? It seems likely. I'm talking about in April.
For the month? It's probably close, right?
That's nuts.
Probably play 26 games, just rest everyone. Just don't even show up for a week.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Maroons and the Gothams. I feel like we got to mention that those teams, and they've gotten more shine out of this than maybe the Rays.
Right?
When's the last time someone said Maroons or Gothams, and all of a sudden every single episode we're talking about
whoever's got the rights to those jerseys. They're slinging them right now.
By the way, we got a Fire Rays shirt in the shop.
Yeah.
Shop.johnboymedia.com. That MLBPA thing is done well for us, I think.
Those the shirts are
opens up the board a lot.
Flames emoji.
Interesting. Who came up with that idea?
Okay.
Only took us 3 years.
You want to do that on the air? Trev, the other.
Hold on.
What?
Someone in the chat here on our AMP. If you want to like be behind the scenes and listen to us do really stupid stuff before the show, go on AMP and join us. These people, our guys here, were treated to some stuff that I forgot we were on AMP before the show. Tom A says, talking 1880s baseball with the Gothams. We should do a segment where we go into, you get your 1880s voice on.
Sure.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, right.
And we talk about the Gothams and the Maroons, maybe. Just a little bit of light on those two teams because, it's not fair that we don't highlight the individual players on those teams. Imagine the freaking names that we could get from those rosters.
I think next midweek we bust those out.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, the Jimmys and the Joes. Trev, the other big AL topic before we chew through some of the series quick. Javy Baez. Hey, Tigers fans, welcome to the season. Tough time to join the party, but Javy Baez is running, loses track of the outs, gets doubled up, gets benched, and we haven't been talking a lot of Tigers since remember their first season with Hinch? Those resurgent Tigers that were coming up, and Torkelson was on the way, and they made moves in free agency, Erod and Baez. We haven't been talking about them a lot since then because it hasn't been pretty. But, Hinch, and he admits it, which I at least like that. He's like, I benched Javy because I'm trying to send a message. It's early in the season, and that's not going to go down. Trev, you're always going to run into one or two of these a year. I guess for this whole circumstance, where are you at?
It's interesting because Baez also had some quotes. He goes, I understand why it happened. But he goes on to say, if I was raking and we were winning games, I wouldn't have been pulled from the game. And it's an interesting quote because it's true.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
No, it's true. It's 100% true.
It would
looked
depend.
Bad, obviously, in the way that they played the last couple of years, like you mentioned, and they're trying to set a standard there. And your best player, your most exciting player, has to lead by example. So I understand where Hinch is coming from as well. But that quote from Baez, it's reality. Okay, things get put under a microscope when you're losing games and you're having tough seasons like this, and you're seemingly kind of. What's the term I'm looking for? Swimming in place, running in.
Okay.
They ain't going anywhere right now.
Right.
They can't find their footing in that organization. So look, Hinch has to do something about it. He probably was happy that it was Baez, because if it was some young kid, it doesn't have the same effect as it does if it's Javy Baez. So I'm kind of on both their sides here. Hinch has got to do something. I'm not the biggest Hinch supporter. I don't like how he handled the Astro situation, and this situation's I don't know what this guy brings to the table that everyone loves so much. I've never really figured that out. I know he went to Stanford. Him and I are,
right.
Alums sort of that university.
Sort of.
Shout out the tree. I don't really have much on this. It's a silly situation. Baez, obviously you got to know the outs. I've fucked up though, and I didn't get benched. There was a time I was in Anaheim. Kevin Slowey was pitching. One of my dear friends. I wanted to make every single play behind him because he was really nice to me. Shout out Slowey. And we went to turn a double play. It's tailor-made double play to end the inning. And I'm at second base. And I catch the ball, tag second, and I just kind of start to run off the field. I don't turn it. I thought there was 2 outs. I didn't get benched. And we weren't even playing that good.
Right.
So it's these managers kind of pick and choose the times of when they do this. And this was definitely to send a message.
Yeah.
To try to instill the culture. We didn't really have that problem on that team particularly. We played hard and we did our best. This is a message, and I don't know if it'll be heard. I don't know, man. So these things are strange, to be honest with you. Throughout the clubhouse, I think Hinch probably thinks he's sending this message that's going to reverberate through everyone. But at the end of the day, it's they're going to play another game tomorrow or today, and if Javy Baez goes and fucking hits a home run, Hinch is going to give him a high five, and they're going to hug, and everything's all good, dude.
Yeah, it's Trev, I do this for the joke, but Hinch hasn't been as good of a manager with the Tigers for whatever reason. The team just isn't winning as much games as when he was the manager in Houston. it must be his
That's
managerial
been my take
style.
on managers this entire time. Like if you're a good manager, you got good players.
Yeah, no, and
that's
it's
it,
1,000% right. There's never been no manager in the league could grab the Tigers or the A's or the Nats right now and make them like win the division. That just ain't how it works.
Like I don't want to talk crap about Buck Showalter because I think he's a phenomenal person. I really, really like Buck, but it's like everyone's like, "Oh, Buck's the best." Well, just look at the roster you handed this guy.
Right.
I mean, come on, guys.
I think, over the course
there are certain things people do. Yes.
Yes, I think it can add and subtract a little bit, but yeah, you need a lot of the ingredients. You can't just. I was gonna make a cooking joke and I got out of there.
I will give it to Hinch because he did say it's not just about Baez. They've had some gas on the bases the last couple of games, and it hasn't just been Baez.
Yeah.
Like they've been kind of messing up. And his quote is, "It's not even really about Javy. If you look at the last couple of series, we made a couple of mental mistakes, and the one thing we control is our preparedness and our readiness." I mean, this is like straight from the manager's handbook. I feel like I've heard that exact quote from a manager before. So,
Trev, can I say something that's not helping the situation? Coming off of the offensive season they had last year as a team, as ugly as it can get, and you come out and we're 13 games in or whatever, they are 30th in batting average, 30th in on base, 30th in OPS, 30th in runs scored. There's 30 teams. The vibes ain't good. And I don't know what you do because, Trev, if you want another good laugh, I've dropped this over the offseason. Javy Baez is not the most beloved guy in Tigers land right now. They gave him the big contract, and he hasn't performed, and the team hasn't performed. By WAR, and WAR's not everything all the time, he was their best player last year. So, hey, Eric Haas in his 110 games, I think he's got a good argument. After him, nobody does. It's crazy how bad they were last year. It sucks that it's now leaked into this season. And Trev, I don't know, man. I've got a little bit of World Baseball Classic still in me. Just who Baez is and how he feels when he's playing. And remember when he got traded to the Mets and he went nuts for those final 47 games? Feels like this is a guy that feeds off playing in like the intense environment. Like he wants that. And it feels like he's as far away that as he can get right now that I don't know where this relationship is going. And hopefully it's an overreaction. And maybe Javy Baez has an 800 OPS this year and puts in a nice year because it's just been 12 games. I don't know, man. I'm getting like squirrely. We might have to figure this out, and maybe Uncle Steve eats some money at the deadline and brings him back or something.
I think the Tigers will be up for that.
I know that
Tigers will be up for that. Every once in a while we get a topic on Talking Baseball that I just know everything about. And I feel so confident in what I'm saying. Playing ball on a bad team, I know all about it, dude. What do you want to know? What do you want to know about Javy Baez and how he's feeling? I'm not saying I'm Javy Baez. I never was. Okay, this guy's electric. He's got the tools. And what I'll say about kind of, it's tough to get up for games, man. When they know they're not going to make the playoffs, dude. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like there's a handful of teams that know that. We know who they are. We don't have to go over it. We don't want to, rain on everyone's parade, but they know they're not going to make the playoffs.
Trev, I'll add a little fuel for you. Baseball, you can even have this littlest sliver of hope. Like, I think the Pittsburgh Pirates right now are a young team that are like, we can make the playoffs. This Tigers team has zero belief in that.
Okay, now you're going to make me name the teams that can't make the playoffs?
No. We don't have to do
I will.
that. I'm just saying the emotion that you unfortunately had to feel one year, I'd have to imagine that is brutal.
It's tough, man, because every single game, it becomes more about you than the team. And baseball really is a team game. And that's when it's really fun. And that's when you flourish, is when you can like, hey, man, the pressure's not on me today. Like there's other guys that can pick me up, or like, hey, like we won this game and we didn't even play our best baseball. The Tigers have to play their best baseball to win games or get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
And I've felt that before, man. Like talk about getting up 9-0 with the Twins. Oh yeah, I'm bringing that one back up.
Yeah.
What I would have said back in the day, let's keep scoring, bro.
Yeah.
9 might not be enough today. Let's keep going. That's a difficult place to be as a ball player. Like, so I'm not giving excuses for Baez. Like, he's got to go play. They paid him a lot of fucking money, man. You got to go put up, do your thing. I guarantee he'll say the exact same thing. But my experience with it is it's difficult, man. And we're only in April.
Trev,
once it gets to freaking June, July, and you're sitting and you're 20 games back, and it's like, holy crap, we have another 3 months of this of just getting beat down. It becomes very difficult to motivate yourself to, let's move on. I can't. You're bringing back bad memories for me.
In the nicest way, like you are an expert in the field, and it's kind of unreal. Like you're opening my eyes to a lot of things. Like, the Yankees went down 9-0, but guess what? If they were playing the Tigers and the Yankees put up a 2 in the first, I would have been like, okay,
yeah.
You know what? Why don't we put up another 2 and see what happens? Where if you're that other bad team and you think it can happen to you, sometimes it does, man, and that's one of the worst feelings in sports. Uncle Steve, take the bill. Throw him at third. Man. Take a couple prospects with them. Why not?
Can I get some shout-outs to some guys in the other series before we get to the National League?
Yeah, I guess your Twins quick. They haven't lost a series yet. Who deserves love over there?
I mean, everybody, the entire roster, because they've already dealt with a bunch of injuries. I mean, Kepler has been out. Gallo, Polanco hasn't even played yet. Correa's had back spasms. Now Kyle Farmer's out. Snaps for Kyle Farmer because he took one to the face. And Lucas Giolito had a tough reaction to it. I mean, he did not feel good about that. We love Lucas here. But the Twins have been doing it, man. Like, their starting pitching has been good. They've been finding, Michael A. Taylor has kind of stepped in and calling him Mini Buxton. A lot of people are saying we got Buxton at home is Michael A. Taylor, baby. So we love that addition. Julian comes up and he makes his debut. He hits a homer last night. Like, they're bringing up some depth, and I think that's, Miranda's been able to do some things. That's where the Twins have faltered in the past, is not enough depth. And I think that's where a lot of people, going into the season, looking at the roster, even our guy, Sarah said it. They're going to be relying on some depth, and this is the best depth they've had in a while. So they've had to use it and tap into it already. And things have been going good. You haven't lost a series. Opened the game last night with a series victory, or playing 4 against the Yankees, and they got game 1. So things are looking good. People are happy with the Twins, and I had a little test with Bally Sports North yesterday. It went very well. So I could be talking and glowing about these Twins pretty soon.
That's crazy. I always thought you kind of had a face for radio, but that's exciting.
That's not true. Karen Shack, I kind of want to give a shout out to him in that series against the Yankees. He had a big outing there and kind of went off, and he even made Terry Francona say, hey man, like I wanted to do that too. I don't know if Terry really means that or he's just got his guys back. I'm not too sure there.
That's a great answer by Terry, because you can't question it, but you just keep it moving.
I was kind of like off Karen Check, but I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, bro, like, you really are this nutball.
It's
like,
genuine.
It's not fake.
Some relievers make it up. That's James Karinchak. There's no doubt.
Like, he scares me a little bit. Like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to give him a shout out because it was intense, and sometimes when you see like intense things on the field, it gets you going a little bit. It got me going a little bit. He kind of like went right at Stanton, like
like you got to be a little off to like. I think Karinchak is like would unfortunately be ready to throw fists with Stan, and I think it would be unfortunate, but
I think Stan's like, I'm okay.
Up until the moment, Stan would be like, no, dude, I don't fight fucking nut jobs, man.
Yeah, got a lot of money and a really good life.
You got
I'm okay.
A blade in your shoe. That series, go listen to Talkin' Yanks. It was a weird Talkin' Yanks. It was a weird series. Guard dogs, we're not gonna put any pelts on our wall. We'll see you next time.
Go listen to baseball today, not Talkin' Yanks.
Happy for your Twins. The Orioles, I think they're gonna get some more love in a minute because they had some big boy performances. Wink, wink. Nudge.
I
nudge.
do actually have something on the Orioles because Kyle Gibson,
Hot.
leading the league in wins,
Whoops.
texted me a picture of you at the Orioles home opener and says, "Wow, thanks for saying hello."
Wow.
I can't believe you didn't go say hi to Gibby. Old school talking baseball, friend of the pod, labor pods, Gibby, and you didn't even go say hi to him?
I'm going to talk Orioles in a minute, and I didn't realize how many fences I have to mend.
Yeah, you do, bro. You do.
Shit.
All right.
Okay.
What else? We need to go through. Let's see if we got anything else. We talked about Tampa. I mean, Boston, you got to get it going a little bit here, boys.
Yeah, I have some pitching thoughts. I think I'm going to save them for later in the episode. But yeah, I mean, you ran into the bad guys right now, and they're not ready to dance with them yet. I know Yoshida got hurt. Our weird injury segment that appeared at the end of the show. Let's get rid of that. That's scary.
There's a lot going on there. I don't like that as of yet. Go Matt Chapman, AL Player of the Week the first week, still going off. Blue Jays are doing their thing. They look. I like the Blue Jays a lot. If it wasn't for the Rays,
Yeah.
Stealing the show, I think we'd be talking a lot more about the Blue Jays and what they're doing. Also, the Yankees look pretty good too. Like the Rays are just. Hey guys, the Rays are more important than your team right now.
It's a special start. It's a special start. And I think people
Rays haven't
know.
lost yet.
No shots fired at Rays fans. I think everyone knows we're not doing it for the clicks, but good for them, and it deserves to be talked about. Rangers beat up on the Royals. Like I talked about, they hadn't been hitting at all.
I don't know if they beat up on them. They walked them off one day, man. And they were down a couple runs, and they came back. My boy Scott Barlow gave it up.
The first game and all the hitting numbers were sad. The vibes were sad. But in that last game, Witt, Melendez, and Pasquantino, which if you're watching Royals games this year, that's why. They do it. But yeah, how about Jonah Heim showing up? A little catcher walk-off action.
It was a bomb, too. A little slide
it was
piece.
a pimp. Yeah. I like that.
All right.
Trev, I think, when we give out awards and stuff, I think we're going to circle back on a few of these. Heen Dog, I see you. Let's get through the National League.
Yes.
And speaking of teams that don't lose series, your Arizona Diamondbacks, America's team, the Galaxy's team, people are asking. They take 2 out of 3 from the Brew Crew, who are off to a strong start this season. Corbin Burnes does his thing in Game 2, and Trev made it seem like you could hear about him later, but nothing you can do when he's just being Miley Wade in the first game. Gets rocked and lost to Zach Gallen, who should have been on our Cy Young draft. Trey Jameson gets his first start. Lourdes Gurriel is balling out. All these guys are balling out. There's speed everywhere, Trev. I don't know. People are drinking the Kool-Aid in the desert, and I might be one of them. Torrey gets tossed one day. That was a good one. Maybe a breakdown coming off that. Gus Farland, don't throw that to Corbin Carroll. Get out of here. Snakes, 2 out of 3. Marlins take 2 out of 3. And a little bit of Marlins history, your first ever cycle. Trev, I saw you on Baseball Today. I had the same reaction. How is this the Marlins' first cycle? Unreal. Luis Arraez, why am I screaming? He was their big trade acquisition this offseason. He gets it. He's in the history books for them. I was just screaming so loud. Phillies, 15 runs in that first game on Sandy Day?
Yeesh.
Maybe that's why I was yelling. Marlins, they get the next 2. Luzardo, and they win in 10 on the final game. Jorge Soler with a game-tying solo home run. Man, how about it, Fishies? Phillies? What's going on up there? Bryce Harper playing first? That gets me going. Mets take 2 out of 3 from the San Diego Padres in the big city. Mets win the bread games while the Padres took the meat. 5-0 on Scherzer Day. And then 5-2 Snell versus McGill. Big Tyler McGill is out there twirling it again. Big game, McNeil and Lindor in that first game. Bogarts He's been hitting for the Padres. My word. 2-run homer in the 9th in that second game, the game they win. Good for you, Mets fans. Go listen to Shay's station, Jolly Olive. Got some notes from him on the games. Braves sweep the Reds. Not shocked by the result, but all close games. We go to extras in that first one. Braves win 5-4, 7-6, 5-4. 3 wins for the Braves, 3 one-run wins. That's tough. Sean Murphy, walk-off 2-run ding-dong. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play. A little bad news down there. Arcia, he hurts his wrist. He's going to be out. Man, Eddie Rosario in that last game. Trev, feel like we haven't talked about him in forever. Braves roll. Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from formerly my Rocks. Rockies won that first game. Trejo's going. Montero. These aren't your father's Rockies. Let the kids play. But St. Louis, they come back in that second game. Arenado ties it up. Nolan Gorman with the pinch hit solo home run. My goodness. Jordan Walker keeps hitting, Trev. Unreal. There's some storylines around this league. Hashtag this league. And your Dodgers. They take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. We asked if they were going to turn it on. And Max Muncy has in a big way. And does he love playing the Giants? Some of the stats that were coming out about him versus them. Holy smokes. Urias drops it in the first one. Kershaw on the back end. Well, hey, how about the Giants shutting him out in that second game to get the win? And that's what happened in the National League. Trev, your standings. Thank you. Thank you. In the National League, the Braves are 9-4. Shocker. Feel like we haven't talked about them, and they're 9-4. Mets are 7-6. Marlins 6-7. The Phillies and the Nationals are both 4-9. Interesting.
Okay.
Brewers 9-4. The Pirates are 8-5. I wish someone bought their stock in their TPP and already trying to cash out of it. Cubs are 6-5. Reds 5-7. Cardinals 5-8. Cardinals. D-backs 8-5 on top of the NL West like we expected. Dodgers 7-6. Padres 7-7. Giants 5-7. Colorado Rockies 5-8. Trevor, yeah.
Are you day trading the Pirates? Is that what's happening right now? You bought it low, selling high.
I mean, I'd see what they were offering.
Yeah, I would do it.
I'd see what they were offering. Cash out.
See what the cash out's offering.
Trevor, the biggest story in the NL. I mean, Ian Happ's contract extension. Which
I was going to say we need to talk about our guy Ian getting 20 M's a
How
year.
How about it?
I called him 9-figure Ian because I thought it was going to be like a 6 to 7 year deal. I put his AAV I shortchanged him on the AAV. He said, "Nah, bro, I'm going to make 20 a year instead of 15 like you were giving me."
Yeah.
Congrats. I texted him. He hasn't texted me back yet, so he's big the crap out of me. Yeah.
No response. You think he has your number saved? Do you think that's the problem?
I think that because he's been waiting for that bottle of wine for 3 years, he's
Yeah.
probably just like, man, this guy's kind of a loser, so I won't talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
Or he could just be busy because everyone's congratulating him on being a multi-millionaire now. What are we gonna do when he's around the office and stuff?
I think I'm ready to fully sell out. Like if he wants me to be his turtle in Entourage and just
wow.
I think I'm ready. Like
He doesn't seem like an entourage guy. He's too
No.
he's too buttoned up. He's
No.
small, real small circle.
No, he would shudder at the thought that I just threw out of
Yeah,
me
he's
being
like, I'm a little
around
more
him
professional.
constantly. Ian Happ likes a dose of me. Like he's
Let's talk about Ian Happ. Hold on.
he's
I
like
want to
a-
get some thoughts off
I'm
my
his
head.
flu shot. Like he enjoys it for a little bit, he gets sick, and then he leaves.
Ian Happ is a businessman. Okay, he represents some athletic clothing brand that if anybody else did what he does on their social media with this athletic clothing brand, I would be laughing at them and being, what are you doing? But Ian Happ looks so good in these like ads and these commercials that he does for this thing. He's a different person, man.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of got a little bit of everything. Professionalism to the max.
Yes.
This guy's buttoned up. No loose strings anywhere with Ian. But also, I think he can get down with the boys if he needs to. Like, I think he's got a little bit of both, man. He's become a leader there in Chicago. I'm happy to have him sticking around for that long. But yeah, dude, I'm just really excited for him. It's really cool. I told him, I said, it's got to feel really, really good because finding that 60 M's coming your way, man. It's awesome.
Congrats, Ian Happ.
61.
61, thank you. And yeah, if he times it right, he'd still be 31 at free agency. So I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet about it, but
he big leagued you too?
Let's not focus on that. Trev, we weren't even going to talk about the Cubs. No, dude, you're kind of right though. Ian Happ, like you're like, okay, Ian Happ, you play baseball. He kind of checks every box. Like when you step away, you're like, yeah, if he does a modeling shoot for like men's athletic wear, you're like, yeah, good looking guy. The hair's looking good. He's in shape. Like podcast, yeah, knock yourself out. Gold glove, sure. If he has a 2-run game, you're not shocked. Like he's got it covered.
What's wrong with him? He's got so much time on his hands.
You know what Ian Happ right here, buddy.
Yeah, I'm so sick of this dude.
Yeah. Piss off. Trevor, the National League. Not a ton of massive topics. I mean, the one that I just love as a topic in general, I wanted to save it for Wednesday, but I think the news cycle will move away by then. Harper playing first. That kind of blew my mind, man, because we've talked about it a lot. There's the old stigma of first base, like, I don't know, throw the big kid over there and let him play first. First base has become one of the most athletic, important positions on the field. And for a Hall of Fame guy to even offer that, to be like, you know what? I know it might not be pretty. This experiment could end quick, but I'm going to go for it because it is not easy to go from outfielder to infielder to play first base, to have rockets hit at you. Never mind worry about the scoop on a double play or throwing a second. Like, dudes like that, and you already knew it, but Bryce Harper loves baseball. And the fact he's willing to do that for a team, man, pretty cool.
We can go a million different ways with this. All the things that you just mentioned, scooping out a ball, making a throw at a second, those are all the easy things. Like learning how far you can go into the hole before getting back to the base.
Right.
Bunt plays, relays. There's a lot of situations where you have the ball as a first baseman. And if you don't play there often, you can get lost pretty quickly.
Yeah. And
I think, with the shift being gone, it actually helps first baseman out because when we had this shift, first baseman essentially became second baseman. And what they would tell you is if you have a shift and your second baseman is a pull for a right-handed hitter, your second baseman is going behind second base, and you'd be essentially in no man's land. You go as far as you could go where you could get back to first base.
Yeah. And
you wanted to have range, so you try to go a little bit further and you just have to hustle. It was a bad deal for first baseman. I think no shift thing has actually helped first baseman out defensively. But for Bryce, dude, this is my first thought on this thing was, fuck, he's bored. Like he's sick of rehabbing, dude. Like he wants to get in there as soon as possible. When you're rehabbing, you want to play. And you don't want to just hit. Like, I want to go play. And I think that's what he's really thinking is like, okay, if I can play first base, I can free up the DH position. We got a couple dudes out there that really shouldn't be playing the outfield. If anything, they're going to need some days off. And if he's in the lineup every day at DH, that means no Schwarber, no Castellanos getting to DH. So if he can be at first base, which obviously Reese not going to be there this year, Derek Hall is going to miss a bunch of time. So like they're kind of just piecing it together over there. If he could be at first base, opens up the DH spot. Now, what can they do roster-wise? They can put one of those guys at DH. They can also go out and get, another outfielder, maybe a defensive-minded outfielder or a guy that can at least is serviceable out there. And now you can plug him in out there and not just tie up the DH position. But like you said, it's going to be a long road. And they have Bobby Dickerson there, who's a great infield coach, and he's going to be working with him. And it could end before it even starts. If they get out there and it's just like not looking good or he doesn't like it or whatever. But I think for the most part, Bryce he has that mentality where if he puts his mind to something, he's going to go finish it.
Because it's worked every time it's worked every time in his life, Trev.
Yeah, I could see him like being out there for like an hour and a half every day, just getting his ass kicked by Bobby Dickerson, but loving every second of it.
Yes.
Because the alternative, Jake, is fucking sitting around twiddling your thumbs rehabbing, bro. So he's like a dog, a puppy dog. He's like Noodle when you've been gone too long. He wants to fucking go on a walk. Yeah. Bryce Harper wants to go on a walk, dude. He wants to go on a run. Take me to the dog park, Jake.
Athletes that love their sport. Like Kevin Durant is a basketball loser. Like he goes home, he watches games. Bryce Harper is a baseball guy. He's probably gonna be around it forever. Like he might be a coach and stuff. And again, he's gonna end up with like $500 million in his bank account. So he probably doesn't need to do that. The dude loves baseball, and yeah, you're right, dude. This story could be gone. Dombrowski could trade for a first baseman, and everyone goes, "Whoo! All right, that was close." But the fact he's willing to do that, man, because guess what? When you hear a guy get kicked to left field or right field, you get a fly ball, and let's see how it goes. It's not always easy for everyone, but you might not get another ball the whole game pretty easily. It happens. First base, if you start having a bad day. That can be a very long day. A very long day. So I love that. Marlins, you won the series, and Arraez had their first triple. First cycle. How the hell is that possible?
They've been a franchise since 93, I believe.
What?
They're the last team to do it. That's what Chris Rose told me. I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust all of Chris Rose's research, but I think it's true. They're the last team to have a cycle. It did shock me, but it doesn't shock me that he's the guy to do it. He's been great for them. I think again, like we talked about it when the trade happened. Like this could be the win-win trade. That teams always are going for. Like I don't think I mean, I guess you'd want to fleece the other team in a trade. Like you'd want to send someone that just sucks, and you'd get someone good in return. Obviously, it's probably the best case.
You want to half fleece them. Like you want to send them like a top starting pitching project who becomes like a good reliever for them, and you're like, yeah, you got something.
This has been great for both sides.
Yeah. So
Lopez is doing his thing in Minnesota. Arraez doing his thing down in Miami. And yeah, I mean, he's impressive, dude. I think he's hitting like 600 or something. I'm going to go look at his stats right now.
Oops.
Let's see.
Just a casual 6, you think?
It was 587 the last time I checked. It's 500 now. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
23 hits and 46 at bats. He's already amassed 1.3 WAR, Baseball Reference WAR. His OPS plus is 238. He's worth 2 1/3 people. So go Arraez, bro. That's fun, man. I'm curious to see like what numbers they come up with in like arbitration for him. He's making 6.1 this year. I believe this is his first year of arbitration. Then he's got 2 more, 24 and 25. And then he's a free agent. So starting out at 6.1, I mean, usually they kind of double. And this guy's got real potential, man, to like get paid, and I love it. He's a good dude too.
He's nasty. I love the way he hits. It's violent. It's contact while being violent. That not many guys can do. Otherwise, you'd see more guys do it. I think it's really hard to do. By the way, I think he looks great in the Marlins uni. I don't know if it's just the uni or if he got it fitting well, if he changed the numbers up. He looked good. I was like, whoa, that's Luis Arraez. He kind of looked like Diesel. We're on the Twins.
Oh, that kind of good.
Like, it fit him well. Diesel might have been overstepping my boundaries, but you were like, okay, Luis Arraez. We're on the Twins. It was like, okay, this dude just hits everything. I don't know. Sound off in the comments for all our Luis Arraez body people. Trev, we are in it, man. I guess any of these series do you think what do you need to scratch an itch on?
I want to snap to Jordan Walker, who had his 12-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. After going 0 for 4, he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
He doesn't look. I mean, like
No.
he kind of does have a baby face. When Kelsey did a rapid fire thing with him, and he like when you hear him talk, like okay, he's still a young kid, but he's just so massive and he's so like intimidating in the box that he doesn't look like a 20-year-old. But I think I mean, look, dude, that's incredible, dude. It's incredible at any point in your career to go out there and have a hit for 11 straight or 12 straight games. Like you feel like you're on top of the world, but to start your big league career like that, I mean, talk about confidence, dude. And we touched on this on Baseball Today a little bit. He's been really aggressive on the fastballs, and a lot of teams will approach a rookie and say, all right, here's fastball outer third. What are you going to do with it? Teams are going to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to stop doing that to him. I even think the Brewers in their series started flipping up first pitch breaking balls to him. It's going to happen. I think now you celebrate this 12-game hitting streak and you're happy and you have confidence. I want to see the little micro adjustments that he's going to have to make. And I think he will make them. I think he's good enough to do it. He's got enough veteran leadership there with Goldie and Arenado that can really help him get through stuff like this. But I want to see those. And that's like one of my most favorite things to watch young guys go through is that little transitional period where it's like teams start to have a book on you. Pitchers start to figure you out. They don't treat you like a rookie where they're just kind of like trying to get ahead of you with the fastball. Like they have a game plan now, and then it's up to them. It's a chess match, man. We always talk about it in baseball. Like, what are you going to do? You got to think ahead. That catcher, they have so much information on you. So much information on you. Where you're hot, right now, like the biomechanic aspect of like game planning is nuts. Where's his swing plane? Okay, well, let's not throw it there. If your swing plane is a little bit more vertical, well, guess what? We're going to go top of the zone with you, motherfucker. If it's a little more flat, we'll throw the sinker. And, everything comes down to that now. So the adjustments are even more paramount. I want to see him make them. I think he's going to.
Trev, you could show me a picture of him, and I guess I don't know, I'd guess he's somewhere between 18 and 25. He's a big dude. He's in shape. Like, sure, I don't know when you talk about his age. That interview with Kelsey, that was a mature man. And at 20 years old, that always blows my mind. Like, I'll give athletes to 25, 26 to kind of start changing the, like, you got to grow up or – because, you live a different life, Trev. I said, you skip Stanford. You got the signing bonus. Like, you play baseball as a career that life's a little different. And, I mean, some guys are built from it. Some guys have to grow into it a little more. Some guys don't. And there's some of the outliers that you can probably name a guy or two from your guys' favorite baseball team who it didn't work out. And it seemed like there was the stuff happening not during the games was part of the problem. Like Jordan Walker, give me as much of his stock as you're selling. Go watch the interview with Kelsey. I mean, that's a dude. That's a dude. They got to start winning some ball games, right? Yeah, 5-8 Cardinals. Let's go.
They'll be all right.
They'll go. Jay Flair hot on Instagram.
He's something else, man. Let me tell you, that guy, he's really coming into his own as a man.
He is. I can feel it. I can feel it. Like he showed up in an outfit that was very much some guys when you see like the NBA, baseball, whatever sport you watch, when they show up in their outfits and you're like, you're trying too hard. Jack Flaherty was like now so comfortable in whatever he's about to do that he's like, look, I'll be that guy. You know what? I am that guy.
He is.
And he is. And he is.
He's something else. A couple things I wanted to mention before we get to the IL. Where is it? I had it up here right here. Phillies offense finally gets going. That's nice. You mentioned they put up a bunch of runs on Sandy. They got to get going. Bryson Stott, they moved to the leadoff position. He's been having a really good start to the year, so they put him first, Trey second, Schwarber third. I think that's interesting. Wonder how long that sticks. Mets, kind of a nice series, a nice job against a really good Padres team doing their thing. Scherzer has a really nice start there. There's something else I wanted to mention from this game. Alonso's still hot. there's something else I forget right now. Oh, I'm patting myself on the back.
I know you are, dude. You're
David
disgusting.
Robertson, baby.
You're gross.
I keep telling people this, dude. This guy's filthy, and we're getting him on 1-year deals. And obviously, you don't want Edwin Diaz out of the freaking off the roster. That sucks. But between him and Adam Ottavino, like I guess they had like a meeting saying, "Hey, ain't no egos here. We're gonna pitch when we pitch. High leverage situations, depending on when they come. Whoever matches up best, we're gonna go do it." And I think that's awesome when you have veterans buying in like that, being able to do different situations, and they're going to stay afloat because they have these guys.
You were cashing in your Robertson ticket, and I think there's a little more merit than me cashing in my Pirates ticket. It's a little early. He's been fantastic, and he's got the track record. But, you know, to fully cash in that ticket and X out my face, that was, I don't know, Trev.
I did X out your face.
I don't know. You know, that might have been a step too far
for me. I was like, you know, fuck this guy. Boom. Braves do your thing. That was awesome. Eddie Rosario went off the last game with a homer and a double. Sean Murphy, welcome. And then you mentioned the Arcia news. You got Vaughn Grissom waiting in the wings. I think a lot of people wanted to see him win this job to see what he could do because he's like another one of these homegrown guys who has the talent. We're going to see it.
Yeah. No, I think
ready or not.
You know, there might have been Braves fans, or I think even we were surprised that it wasn't Vaughn out the gate. But guess what? Like, baseball happens. So the 22-year-old Vaughn Grissom will get his chance to prove what he can do.
Last thing before we go to IL, Max Muncy brought back the step back. I know he likes it against the Giants, and like, you know, when you feel comfortable against a team, like sometimes results happen because of that. But there was an adjustment made. He brought back the step back, which is, people don't know, it's the beginning of your load. Instead of just kind of like loading up in your hip, you physically, literally step back with your back foot. And that kind of gets your load started and just kind of gets you more grounded. You feel like you're using the ground. You hear a lot of hitters talk about using the ground. The step back will do that, kind of gets you loaded, preset almost. He brought that back. Sometimes I don't know why guys get away from certain things. He did at the end of last season. I was at the game. I was like, what the hell? Max Muncy's doing that? That's like a Chris Taylor thing. That's a Rob Van Scoyoc drill, the hitting coach, that he would do. And Muncy got away from it in spring training for some reason. Started off slow. Now he's back.
1.019 in 75 games versus the Giants. So he's been an MVP in about a half a season of baseball versus the Gigantes. Trev, let's burn through some IL. Some interleague action. Houston at Pittsburgh. And Houston, they take 2 out of 3. Will that get them going? Trev, my favorite little tidbit. You know, we get into the early season reaction mode. Houston, the last 3 seasons, has started 6-7. So if you had your Astros take lined up, ready to shoot, hey, it's early. Hwan Bae, walk-off homer, looking sexual. You might hear about him later. Astros, Urquidy in that last game shut down while Jordan and Tucker and Framber. Yep, that's their formula in the first. Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. We already told you, they signed in Happ. Times are good. Plus, they win the first game, Smiley versus Castillo. That's a fun little pitching matchup. Cubs had a 2-1 lead, and then Kelenic. And then Horner. In extras, is the Kelenic breakout happening? Nelson Velasquez hits a grand slam. We're happy for him. First of his career. Man, a lot of people are talking Kelenic. Talk Cubs, winning record. And they win this series over Seattle. And then Halos Nats probably won't be our deep dive. I'll tell you what, Patrick Corbin got a win, and I was happy for him. It's not as pretty, but hey, it's a win. And then the Angels take the next 2. Ohtani Day, so he shuts them down. 7 shutout, 1 hit. Reminder, he also hits real good. And then Halos take the last game. Renfroe, nice game there. And I think, Trev, that is what happened in the Interleague. So I got in my Astros fun fact there, the 6-7 thing.
Don't ever count those guys out. I don't care what. I mean, they could be 0-13 right now, and like they'll be all right.
Just a reminder that it's still so early in the season, but we want to get into that, react about our team, know this about a team. Some guys have had a bad 2 weeks that will have incredible seasons. We're still there.
Do you remember when we started talking about Framber Valdez because he's just had the smallest little glove and we loved it? He was pitching pretty good. We're like, dude, I love this guy Framber.
Yeah.
I like the way he pitches. I like his demeanor on the mound, like everything about him. And almost like a Nestor Cortez, this guy's become one of the best pitchers in the league.
Yes.
And like right in front of our eyes, and he's just like has just done it consistently. Start after start after start. He's broke us down, bro.
Yeah.
Like Framber Valdez is like an absolute bona fide ace. And it happened, I don't want to say it happened out of nowhere because it's taken, I mean, he's been doing it for a couple of years now, but like I remember the first time we talked about him, just kind of messing, like this guy's got a tiny glove. What's up? And here he is, dude. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He did have some walks, but he's had an incredible start to the season as well. The Astros are a freaking wagon, dude. Shout out the Pirates for taking one of those games. We'll talk about it in a little bit. And then dude, these two fan bases, the Cubs and the Mariners, they're all over us. The Angels fans are also all over us too. We got to talk about that helmet in a second, but Stroman continues a really good start to the year. Nico Horner, huge walk-off hit. That was really cool to see. He had some really cool quotes about it. He said, I was just so happy. What a special thing to experience. He's totally right, by the way. It's a very special thing to experience. He said the whole team running out towards you and in front of this crowd, it's what you play the game for, just to have a chance for moments like that. It's very true. Happy that he has the perspective that he does. Kelenic, on the other hand, doing his thing, hits an absolute fucking tank. And he has made some adjustments. And do you remember when we talked about, I was like, man, how come guys don't get fit for their bats? And then all of a sudden,
why isn't that more of a thing?
People are doing that. I think the Mariners sent a bunch of guys to get fit for their bats, and they were testing these guys. They were hooking them up to all the freaking wires, and they were talking about how efficient Kelenic's swing is. And so I don't know if like what kind of bat they hooked him up with, but he has made some adjustments. His posture's a little bit different this year. If you go back to last year, as he was struggling to find anything, he had so many different stances, dude.
Yeah.
All over the place with his stances and his setup. And sometimes that doesn't mean that much because you get to the same place, you're trying to get to a certain place, and the setup is just a way to get there. But you see it with a ton of young guys. If you have a lot of excess movement in your setup, it's difficult to get to that spot that you want to get to consistently. So eventually you see guys tame a lot of that shit up. Like if you come up and you're like with the bat and whatever, like eventually in the big leagues, you kind of taper that down a little bit. And then when you get going and you feel comfortable, you might bring a little bit of it back, but everyone makes those adjustments where you eliminate excess movement. He's done that and he's going off, man. He's getting an opportunity this year to play. Like that wasn't like a for sure thing that he was going to get a lot of opportunity to play this year. He is, and he's doing well.
Trev, I haven't followed Franchi Cordero's whole career. I know he's always been an exit velo guy that scouts drool over, and the Yanks have tapped into it a little bit, or it's just a couple hot games, and that's baseball. His swing looks so basic that I think you'd love it. Like it looks like the easiest, just like gentle leg lift, swing the bat through the zone. That's it. Like no funny business. And Kelenic, just a reminder, 23 years old. So as I mentioned, don't punt on some players. It's early for the Astros.
Is Dansby Swanson becoming a freaking star in Chicago?
Yes.
I wasn't sure how that move was going to.
I've got a Dansby rant that's for another time. It's been bizarre. I know there's some metrics that aren't great. Like his arm strength is low, and earlier in his career he didn't hit. For some reason, there's people that don't treat him like an elite shortstop. And I don't know why. Like, I almost think it's like he's too good looking, so people want to be mad at him. But he was the best shortstop in the NL last year. Like Lindor, some of these guys that put up massive seasons, his was best. People are worried about his defense. He won the Gold Glove last year. Guess what? Maybe he's going to fade at shortstop. Everyone does. What Dansby's doing right now, like, it's okay to enjoy it. I don't know. Who have I been fighting about that? Why am I so emotional?
I don't know why you're so mad.
That was weird, right?
I think he got talked poorly about in the offseason because he was the lesser of 4 mega superstar shortstops. They were like, oh, well, he's not Bogarts or Correa or Trey Turner. And not many fucking people are.
Right. And guess
what? It doesn't
what?
mean you're a bad ball player. That's a really good ball player.
On any given day for, I think, the next 2 years, he also can be those guys. We've seen him do it in the playoffs. We've seen him do it like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a little almost prospect fatigue with him because I think he started off slow in Atlanta, but he's been great since 2019. Anyways, Trev.
We got to talk 1 sec. We got killed by Angels fans saying that the reason they didn't take the Samurai helmet on the road is they didn't have it for the first road trip, or that's what they were saying. And also they were still getting it ready to travel. So they might be taking it on the road. And that's all we said was if they don't take it on the road, we're out. If they do take it on the road, we're in. That's it.
Here's what I'll say. You would have more relationship with clubbies and people in the org and things like that. If you're a Major League Baseball team and you want to bring a helmet, I think you figure it out. So that's where people were using the excuse of like they weren't going to figure it out this trip, but then they were. I was like, what?
I don't think they had it.
For the first one, I don't think so. But didn't they also follow it up with like it's not coming this time or something? I don't know.
We like the Angels, dude.
I love the Angels. They burnt me last year. I'll never believe in them until they make the playoffs. But I like the Angels.
They don't like us at all, dude.
They do.
Not the Angels, Angels Twitter.
You know Nate Steele leads that band.
Nate Steele's got a lot, he helps us out a lot. If we didn't have Nate Steele, we'd be screwed with Angels Twitter.
They have stars. Happ's still hitting, and that's looking like it could end up, we saw the other side of that trade working out for Philly. It's starting to work out for them. And
shout out Griffin Canning, man. He long road back, 649 days since his last start. That's a lot of days, man. July 2nd, 2021. He had a stress fracture in his lower back. It's good to see him back. That's cool.
Yep. Hey, I won't give everyone the speech. You don't need it right now, but Ohtani, Canning, Sandoval, Anderson, Detmers. Do what you want with that. Like, each of those guys has stories and a chance, and some of them, Sandoval's fully broken out, and Shohei's the best to ever play this game. So, like, Angel fans, we get it. Just know you've heard a lot of feelings along the way, and I would love to believe, but I'm going to have to believe in, like, August to believe.
Nate says it was not us. It was the caption posted along with it. So, Kyle, figure it out. And whoever else is running the socials, don't get people mad at us.
Our social media team, if I can get dragged, that's what gets them excited. But I guess you could say the same with you. Trev, let's get into the second half of the show. Some series were out there, but we may be talking about them in a minute with some of our awards and player performances. And Trev, one way to perform, how about Blast Motion? Do you know about this, Trev?
I have Blast Motion.
The Blast Baseball swing trainers and swing analyzers attached to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback. Trev, this is what you've been looking for. This is one of the answers to these fucking pitching nerds who've cornered the tech market and baseball market. Well, guess what? We're coming back. 3D swing tracer. You compare your swings, smart video capture technology, understand what you're doing at the plate, and Blast Baseball. Don't worry about the weather. Where my Northeast Kings at? Bust it out in the basement. Get your hacks in. Go to blastmotion.com, BLASTMOTION.com. Enter code TALKIN, and you will save $10 on Blast Baseball personal swing trainers and swing analyzers at checkout. Check out the link. Let's go, hitters. You got 3 of them right here. Like, let's go. Join the club.
3 bangers.
Bangers.
I like this thing because it's a cool noise that plays after you swing. You get your swing speed. It has like this cool, like, ding noise.
Yeah.
And Teddy freaking loves it. He's always trying to swing as hard as he can. And I think that's really good for kids.
Yes.
Learning, like, swing as hard as you can. Like, your body naturally will, like, put you in the right spots to do that. I actually did that in my practice yesterday.
Nice.
I like this a lot. Kids love it too.
Trev, I love your standout performer who you've alluded to a couple times now.
Corbin Burnes, my guy. I like Corbin a lot, dude.
Yeah.
He's always been friendly to us, and he's absolutely fucking filthy. You famously picked him to win the Cy Young, and he did.
Whoops.
So that was cool. He goes 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, and probably the most impressive thing, no walks, 8 Ks. His first 2 starts, not good at all. He switched agencies. He left my CAA. He left Ollie Linton.
Hey.
And went over to Boris. He had some problems with the arbitration process with the Brew Crew. I think he's had a lot on his mind to start the year. It's a contract year for him. Things were going on. First start against Chicago, 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. He walked 3 people. Second outing against the Mets, 4 1/3, 6 earned runs. He walked 2 people there. Not striking out a lot of guys. 3 strikeouts apiece in those games. Doesn't seem like a Corbin Burnes that we know and love. Against your Snakes, though, a team that's hot, man, and pesky. 8 innings, 3 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. It's nice to see him kind of figure it out. We know he would. We knew he would. But an excellent performance. And the Brewers, who have been great to start the year and doing it in maybe different ways than they've done it before, they need the top-end pitching to be the top-end pitching and have those guys, the freshmen, go off and have some of the top of the line go off. And then they'll be the complete team that they are. This is the start of this high-end pitching going off.
If he keeps it up from the past 2 years and hits free agency the year after this one, he is going to put a big boy number on the scoreboard. And yeah, I know even in our brief time talking about him, we ended up talking about, like, you know, pre-arb, ARB1 and contract stuff. And yeah, it's I know we talk about it and anyone that listens to our show understands it, but the business of baseball that has to be on these guys' mind while they go through it. You know, he's been in trade rumors and stuff, real or fake. But yeah, like I said, 3rd start of the year when year 1 comes out and has a couple to start the year, that 3rd start's kind of important. Like, either a red flag goes up and you're like, whoa, is something up with our dude? He comes out, he does this against the NL West leading Snakes.
Yeah, they would have been swept if it wasn't for him. Hey, before we move on, Beavers, did we end the amp?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell Rosie to get on it because we're running a little late. I'll just tell him to start on amp, and then I'll come in.
Yes, I got the notification that they had scheduled the show to begin, and we lost you on there anyway, so I just ended the amp.
Get the crowd warm. Trev, while you text Rosie, I will tell you a little bit about Ryan Mountcastle and, you know, stand up.
Who's he, Mountain?
You know, we like to highlight normally one game in these. We've got some in Fuego and other stuff that's like, who had the biggest day at the office? His 9 RBI, that's a pretty good argument. When you have 2 homers, you're responsible for driving in 9, which, by the way, he's now driven in 19 runs on the year. And 6 homers, Trev. And a reminder, if he didn't play in Camden, where that giant, ridiculous moved back wall is now, he might have 7 or 8. I saw one against the Yankees that no doubt would have been on Yawkey if we were playing at Fenway. It's as big of a day at the office. The Orioles showed me something in this series. I know it's the A's. I guess I thought the league is going to see the Orioles this year, and I thought the league was going to fight back a little bit. I've been saying that a lot. This Orioles team, with their offense, they are not out of games, and they are young and dumb enough that if they go down, they're still coming. And they proved it in this series, and they've got hitters up and down the lineup. The Adley walk-off. Final reminder, Trev. Ryan Mountcastle and I connected for life because
you made out with him in college.
Something very close to that.
Oh,
His
okay.
wife and my wife had their bachelorette in Key West the same weekend.
They made out.
And
in
they-
college.
well-
that's what it was.
I'll let your imagination work. But again, still a funny image of Jess or her friends walking up and be like, oh, your husband plays baseball? Mine's short and talks about it. Must have been an electric
Who's more
moment.
famous?
Hey, we don't, how do you even measure something like that? So.
Love you, Ryan. I got a lot of his baseball cards. I'm happy he's going off. And 9 RBI,
Yeah.
1 game.
That's got to feel good, huh? A 2
You're
RBI
going
day
home.
feels pretty good. 9's got to feel real good.
Let me tell you what you do after a big game like that. Let's get into it, okay? You have a big fucking game like that. You go home and you taste yourself for a little bit. You're watching MLB Network. You're tuning in to Talking Baseball series recap, and you just want to hear people say good things about you. And I'm okay with that because so often as a hitter, man, you're losing. When you get these big games, I can't feel it, dude. Let that permeate through the skin a little bit, get into the organs because you need it. That guy went home and just watched the highlights. Was like, I just hit 9 RBI in this motherfucker. That's fun.
You still think I should be nervous about saying I think after this season Adley Rutschman's the easy number 1 catcher in baseball?
He's in the discussion. I think it's still there's some guys there that they're like, hey man, like don't forget about what we've done for several years.
I won't. I won't. I just think that dude might not be right.
Will Smith is
really good.
fucking legit.
Really
and JT
good.
Realmuto's so hot. Is Adley Rutschman hot? Maybe. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that.
Yeah, he's got to figure out his look. He's still young guy, full young guy look. The hair's flowing. I think there was a bad goatee. But
Has he got a little Travis Snyder in him? Just like a little bigger Travis Snyder?
Snyder.
Yeah.
I've seen him be funny on the internet, so he's got that going for him.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Let's find out together. Those O's are going to have the most comeback wins in baseball. A good bullpen in that offense and young and believe. That's your formula. Trev.
Hit it.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
A lot of guys had big days this week. Who are some of them?
That wasn't a joint. That I had my toast on this
Just
paper
toast,
towel.
people. Aluminum.
I am not toast right now. I want to be.
Yeah.
Max Muncy is on here. I think he's on here twice. Or no, that was standout performance. You could have picked one of 2 games against the Giants. But in that series, 5 for 9 with 4 homers and 11 RBI. Luis Arraez, we know what he did. 7 for 12 in the series against Philly. 2 doubles, a triple, a homer. Only 2 RBI. That is indicament of his team not performing offensively. Hey, guys, let Luis Arraez drive you in. Bottom of the lineup. Let's go. Like a warplane just flew over my house. What's going on with that? Are we under attack? Is it Red Dawn? Ryan Mountcastle, you just talked about him. 5 for 16, 4 homer, 12 RBI. That's in 4 games. Bobby Witt Jr., 6 for 13, a triple, 2 ribbies, 4 stolen bases, though. He had 3 in 1 game. Nico Horner, 6 for 13. Nico Horner, that's a good name, man. 3 ribbies, 4 runs, 2 stolen bases. Ronald Acuna is lighting the world on fire. 7 for 12, 4 ribbies, 2 walks, a stolen base. Kelenic figuring it out, 5 for 9, a double, 3 homers, 3 RBI, 3 runs. Brent Rooker, that's a mistake on the sheet. Dalton, it's not Roker, it's Rooker. This is my guy. 6 for 12, 3 homers, 9 RBI. That's in 4 games. That was against Baltimore. Corbin Burnes, already talked about him. And Zach Gallen, who is mad at us. Confirmed mad at us.
Yeah.
He has a great start. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, only 1 walk, 11 Ks against a stingy Milwaukee offense. And that is who's in Fuego.
Assing. Uh-oh.
Holy.
Right-hander Logan Webb and the San Francisco Giants in agreement on a 5-year, $90 million contract extension.
It's a lot of money going in the bank at some point.
We like him.
I should have made more money, man. I'm happy for these guys. That's what a feeling that must be.
That's a lot of dough.
It's a lot of dough.
Good for Logan Webb, man.
I want Logan Webb now to grow his hair out.
Yeah.
It's not give a fuck and just, I got 90 million. Whatever.
Just
What if
goes
he did
full
that?
San Fran and really leans into it. Barry Zito,
Oh,
but
boy.
more successful on the pitch, maybe. Trev, I'm skipping this whole injury section. You guys know who
Hate
got
it.
hurt, and there's
Hate
a
it.
ton that suck. Adam Duvall, that stinks. Seager Anderson. No, I'm gonna stop saying names. I hate this segment.
Jeffrey Springs.
Hate this segment. Yoshida Conforto. Trev, let's give out some awards, Big Daddy. And the awards are brought to you by MLB 9 Innings. You like baseball. You're listening to Talkin' Baseball. This game es baseball. Wide variety of game modes, league mode, live PvP. You got 2,000 player cards you can collect, all the stadiums, logos, uniforms you're looking for. And man, play with some of the icons. Find out. Don't listen to Trev about Jim Tomei's stories. Play with them. See that power. Carl Hubble, invented the telescope. Walter Big Train Johnson. Download and play MLB 9 Innings 23 today with the link in the description or at the App Store. And it's a good roll. I've been cracking it here and there. Get me through the subway. Trev, your first and final award of the show.
My award is I was going to call it the Hwan Bae
Yeah.
Comes Hard Award,
Oh.
but I think I'm going to change it to Utility Players Can Be Sexy Too award. And it is about Hwan Bae. He does play for the Pirates. He is number 3. And if you saw, he hit the walk-off homer with a massive, massive bat flip, which I'm okay with, especially on walk-off homers. Do whatever you want. Do cartwheels around. But really where this guy has been shining, he's a young dude. I'll let you talk about like the appearance in a little bit after I'm done. He's been shining defensively. We've seen a bunch of highlight plays already. The first one I saw was in Boston when he went up against the monster and stole an extra base hit away. The cool thing about him is, like I mentioned, he's a utility player. And typically utility players are gritty and they're grimy and they're baseball rats and they're like me and Jamie Carroll and we're just getting the job done. We don't necessarily look so flashy and good. Hwan Bae is not that way. This guy looks good wherever he's at. He's been playing some center field. He plays shortstop. He can play second base. Now, we always would talk about O'Neal Cruz, Ke'Bryan Hayes. These are the reasons we're tuning into the Pirates. Well, O'Neal Cruz isn't going to be there, man, which sucks. But we always talk about when someone gets injured, it creates an opportunity for somebody else. So right now, Bae is going to play, dude. Whether it's going to be center field, most likely he's going to be at second base. But what they've been doing with him, too, is they've been starting him at second base and then moving him to center field for defensive purposes. This guy's moving all around the field and making plays wherever he goes. He's making utility players sexy, and I'm thankful for that because you can be. I think utility players are the most important people on the team. You can have your stars, and you know what stars do? They do what they do best. You know what utility players do? Everything else. All the things the stars don't want to do. You know, playing different positions. That's why we talk about Bryce Harper. Like, oh my God,
Right?
Bryce Harper wants to play a different position. Bro, this is what utility players do on a day in, day out basis. They give you roster flexibility. They give you lineup flexibility. Managers are probably the only people that gush about utility players. How many times have you heard a manager be like, man, I wish I had 9 of those guys. I could move them around all over the place. Hwan Bae is doing that. And it's exciting to watch him play. And I know you have some things on his appearance. You called him a K-pop looking star, which I get, because he is a good-looking dude. He's 23 years old, and he's just running out there like his hair is on fire, and I love it, dude. So I wanted to give some shout-out to him because we don't talk about the Pirates too much, and when we do, it's usually about a few different players. This guy's kind of come out of nowhere, and now I think he's on a lot of people's radar. Like, hey, I want to see another defensive gem from this guy, and we're going to see a bunch from him this year. So shout out Hwan Bae. You get the Make Utility Players Sexy Again / Hwan Bae Comes Hard award.
Trev, great award. Bat and leadoff a little bit for the Pirates. And yeah, you talk about baseball's a game of opportunity, and he's going to get it with them. He's 23. He's playing all over the field. And yeah, I posted the clip this morning, and now, Trev, I don't want to get you a little sad, but people are in my replies. I get when he was 17, some assault allegations. So I'm finding out about this live
I didn't know anything
as we
about
do
that.
this. And I know
You just found that out. I just found that out.
So let's find out what that is. And
Okay.
It's not great, but hey, we were also wondering, like, how does a guy like this go under the radar? And maybe there
Wish you would have let me know about that before I gave my award.
It's okay.
Because now,
Well, Trev, I mean, this is also, let's find out what it was. He was 17,
Sure.
and I'm not downplaying anything, but we'll all find out together, and from there we make our own assumptions. What he's doing on the baseball field right now is pretty crazy. And yeah, I know. Talkin Baseball posted a like video gif of him, and he looks. If you told me he was like the most famous person in the world, I'd believe you. Like you're saying, Adley Rushman's trying to like still figure out his look. Like Bae figured it out, and just crazy ironic that the last name Bae, like a made up thing in our culture, or wherever it even came from. To see that on the back of a number 3 Pirates jersey. But that's a whole nother topic. Go Pirates, go. I'd consider selling their stock.
you just brought me down.
I know,
Big
because
time.
I know you hate that, but hey, we're here to tell the whole story, and I feel bad because before this I was telling you, like, God, he looks so good in that clip.
Well, I'm gonna give my report now. I'm out.
Hopefully he was young and dumb and grew from whatever happened. But yeah, hate that Bae. Trev, I'll save you with my award. I'm giving out the Suburbs award.
Okay, I was curious about this one. I saw on the sheet.
I've for a while now I've lived in the cities, and we've talked about baseball, and Javy Baez in Detroit playing games that don't matter, or we talk about the big city, who can handle it, who can't. Sometimes things get overblown, I think, especially in small sample sizes. Andrew Heaney came over to the Yankees and played the worst baseball of his career. Was it the big city? Was it the timing? Was it luck? What was it? I don't know. 35.2 innings, a 7.32 ERA, and it was outside of one game. It was tough. It was tough. The internet was not nice to Andrew Heaney. Even like Trev, you had to talk down Luke, former intern, now sales Luke, who's like a nice guy and doesn't even isn't in baseball for takes at all. He was like, Heaney, man, like what? Like how is this real life? And you were like, dude, you'd probably love Andrew Heaney. Like he's a dude and he's good. Andrew Heaney got whatever they were drinking in LA, and he put together a fantastic year. Results, ERA-wise, haven't been there yet, but he sets an AL record for consecutive strikeouts.
Yes.
And anytime a record is broken in baseball, especially with how much we've been talking about the Maroons recently, there's been a lot of baseball played. Anytime you set a record, that's pretty crazy. So Heen Dog's out of the city. He moved to the suburbs a little bit. Even Arlington is kind of the suburbs of Dallas and Fort Worth. I hope the results come. I'm rooting for him because, man, if he used the internet at all, you talked about Ryan Mountcastle using the internet after his big day at the office. If Andrew Heaney used the internet after some of his sad days at the office, yikes, because New York was tough on my guy. That I hope it's clicking wherever he is, and he gets an MLB record out of it. So there you go, Heen Dog.
It was nasty too. He was just throwing that fastball at the top of the zone. And he comes from such a low arm angle that looks even hard. It looks even, or it's harder to get on top of than a guy that comes on from the top of the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting it to ride a little bit there. And the low angle arm slot guys, you're just trained. Those guys are going to kind of like sink it, and it's going to be more like horizontal. But he has that good spin that just stays up there. And guys have, I mean, they're swinging under it every single time. Yeah, I don't think he even threw or didn't strike anybody out on a slider the entire first time through the lineup.
Yeah.
And then he started mixing up some slide balls there the second time through. It was filthy, man. I mean, that's the potential that teams always talk about, the swing and miss stuff that he has. So it was cool to see, man. And he is a good dude.
He that Texas has that kind of funky camera angle. I think it's a little set a little higher and a little more behind if I'm describing it correctly. But his fastball looks so badass from that angle that I support it for Heaney days because it moves like a blitz ball. You're like,
yes.
What? Happy for you, Heen dog.
He had a tough first start with the Rangers.
Right.
That like I think in 2 months we're gonna be doing some funny butter knives.
Put that in your rear view, Heen dog.
You guys, I love you. Finish the show off for me. Chris Rose is yelling at me. I'm 17 minutes late for our other show already.
I
So
think
we're gonna have to figure some stuff.
we're gonna have to
because
figure that
I can't keep getting yelled at by Chris. Okay?
I love you getting yelled by Chris Rose. Get out of here, Trev. We're gonna do the same. So leave some comments. We love you guys. Enjoy the weekend of baseball, and we'll be back here. Oh, little boogie. We'll be back here to talk about it Monday. Thank you, everyone. Go baseball. Go Trev. Mad Chris Rose.
I'm okay. Chick sucks. We'll make it.